Yeah, one memorable moment from Houston County, it ironically happened during pregame. Our DBs decided to come out with their shirts off. It was cold. It was, just rigid and just, a feeling that I know they weren't used to feeling where they were from, because I think it was, 10 to 12 degrees warmer that they were used to practicing in. And I just remember them looking at our kids warming up with no shirts on, and they, almost had the look on their face of these guys in Milton are crazy. They're on a whole different level mentally, man. They're wild. And just from that moment on, I think they realized the battle they were getting into, the game they were about to get into with us. And it just set the tone in a sense of we're locked in, we're ready, and there's nothing that's going on, not even the cold weather, that's gonna keep us from getting what we want.
A lot of teams are just happy to be here. We've had the best season in school history. We're in the 3rd round. We're practicing on Thanksgiving. We get hot chocolate. We get treats. Everybody thinks we're good. That's not what we do. We expect to win.
What we just experienced right there, well, that's family, man. That's family. These moments, that's what we're fighting for. What we just felt, what we just did, that's what we're fighting for tonight. Go defend your family tonight, man. Let's go.
I think it might have been our first touchdown. When we threw it a tip, might have been a screen or something like that, Tristan Payne. And Ethan Barber, I don't want to mess up his name, but Ethan said to us before the game, I don't care about the ball. I'm trying to be physical. I'm trying to make my presence felt. So Tristan Payne caught the screen coming down the sideline, and I think they caught it on film. Me and Coach Reeves were just running down the sideline, and he lays this kid out, and Tristan just hits the sideline and he's gone. And that was like a tone setter for us offensively.
It was like the second play or third play of the game. We threw a screen to tip, and I was blocking for him, and I pancaked the dude so he could score a touchdown. Third round, that was my first third round game as a high school player. Again, beyond blessed, I was so excited. My favorite moment is when I had a go ball and I scored on it.
I think it goes back to what kind of person are you? Are you a competitor? And will you be satisfied with anything less than your best being given? And we just try to preach that preach what is true competitive effort, what is emptying the tank, and then can you build a habit of that? And I think that is, it's clearly one of the pillars of our program for a reason. But it's something that, even as coaches, we have to remind ourselves of all the time. What is emptying the tank look like for me? Yeah, the Houston County game. I think one of the biggest moments for me actually came later in the game. That was a game where we had managed to control a lot of the first half. And I just remember there was a drive late in the second quarter going into halftime where, we really felt like if we could get a stop, we could potentially take control of that game. And when the defense answered the bell, we just had 3 outstanding plays in a row. Swarming defense, 11 hats to the ball. And it was very emblematic to me of what we want this defense to be and what we want this team to be, which is a total team effort every single play. And when you see 11 guys running the ball, when you see them swarming, hyping each other up, really celebrating each other's success, I felt like in that moment the game changed where we had completely taken control, where Houston saw that, our kids saw that when we play to our standard, we're really, really tough to deal with.
My favorite moment from Houston County was just the play I made. I was rolling out right, no one was there, started scrambling around a little bit, and then found Jordan Carrasculo in the back of the end zone.
I know it's cold. I'm proud of y'all. Y'all protected the family tonight. Y'all protected the family tonight. And now we're heading to the Final Four, baby. Let's
What does toughness or competitive toughness mean to you?
But toughness isn't just like, oh, I'm strong. You have to be mentally tough also. There's moments this whole season where, oh, you have to be mentally tough. You can't just be physical. Obviously, we've out-physical teams, but there's also been times where we had to be mentally tough as well, just going back to the Buford game.
Competitive toughness is like you're in the game and something happens. You got to be smart not to do something that's going to hurt the team. Be who you are and help the team instead of hurting the team.
Just competing every day, even if you're having a bad day, just getting back up and just go back to straight competing and stuff and trying and doing your best.
Honestly, just keep going. Even when you're hurt or you have a bad play or something just bad happens, just having the gall just to keep going no matter what happens. Honestly, that's what I think the competitive toughness means for Bet.
7% of high school athletes go on to play in college. And you got to think how many thousands upon thousands upon thousands of high school athletes there are, right? So it's an incredible accomplishment, an incredible achievement. And it's a testament to these kids, right? It's a testament to these seniors that have been here, that have put in that work, and done, you go through everything in the summer, right? Everything that you went through in the summer, when you ran, when you were doing weights, and where you didn't want to be there sometimes, right? All for this. All for this at the end of that road, right? And in my mind, this is just a launching point. You ain't done yet. Your career's going to go on to bigger and greater things even beyond you, right? So I'm super excited for each one of you guys. Please, let's get a round of applause for your parents, for these coaches, everybody that gave a lot to them. Please give a round of applause.
Effort can't be taught. It's either you in it, it's in you, you desire to put towards the effort, or you don't, you know. The thing I feel at Milton, it's not just about football. We're trying to create men in life situations, you know, because right now they're on a high horse. You know, it seems like they could do no wrong, but, you know, things can turn quickly. So just to continue to put 100% effort into everything. Don't take anything for granted, because I come from a military background and there was no such thing as teaching effort. So that's kind of what I try to exude out to everybody else in the place.
Everything starts with the basics. You know, if they truly understand the defense, the more we can add into it. We always teach in progression, so the way that we set up the program, it's always through progression. So each student is going to learn, and the student athlete is going to learn to eventually get to the higher level thinking within their position.
So like during practice, you know, there's a session where it's, you know, just the O-line, just working our own stuff. And so during the season, it comes down to like game plan wise, you know, what are we going to run? What are we going to see? And then working drills that are specific to those situations. So that way a player is like continually doing the same thing over and over and over again. So like just staying on it with repetition as much as possible. And again, that gets down to like coaches meetings, like when we sit down and game plan and we're thinking, hey, you know, we like this play out of this formation, probably going to get, you know, a defensive structure that looks a certain way. So guys are going to see the same thing or see something similar. So that's kind of where we go. That's where I start with like individual work.
My overall philosophy coaching the defensive line is to stop the run. And that is something that you pride yourself on, especially come late November and when you're trying to win those playoff games. So, you know, early on in the season, we work a lot of pass rush and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, block recognition, block destruction, rallying to the football is what Milton football is known for, and that's how I emphasize it.
One of the things we talked about early this week is don't get bored with the basics. You know, all those basic skills that we start doing week one in spring, week one in the summer, those are all things that are going to carry over and that we're going to need to be great at in December. So it all starts with those, and then as the year goes on, you know, as you can see what we're getting better at or what we need to pull back with a little bit, we're able to add on to those drills. We always want to go back and kind of start back with those basic skills and hit them again, you know, just so that we don't forget where we started and kind of what got us to that point.
Making the game small makes big plays. I feel like football is made in, if you can teach the players to make the game smaller as far as where their eyes go, they make more big plays that way. And I think the basics lead to the advanced things that you would call an advanced skill. Like most people see it as, you know, oh, they're making all these great big plays, but a lot of it just goes back to, did they put their eyes in the right spot? Do they transition their eyes to the next thing? And then they make a big play based on the training they have. Coach Estes does a great job of saying, you know, it's the muscle memory. Like if you teach them the muscle memory of doing this over and over again, they react without even knowing they're reacting. And I think that's a great way to put it is we teach them, this is your job, this is what you're doing. But once that job's done, you go make a play. Like you go be the player you are. And that's kind of how it translates to being more advanced is they do the basics and that leads to bigger things. And I think that's just kind of why we do fundamentals every day. It's why we have position coaches. It's why we push them to be better at the small stuff. It's like when we have a bye week, we focus on fundamentals all week because if we can get them to the muscle memory of the basic things we do, it always leads to more advanced things through their experience of playing. And I think that's huge.
Signing day, man, I appreciate everybody being there. Special moment. Congrats to all the people that signed. It is tough. It is tough to get an offer. It is tough to get an offer. You guys that did not sign today, don't lose faith, don't lose hope. There's still a lot of opportunity out there between now and the next signing day. We'll continue to fight for you behind the scenes like we do every day, whether you realize it or not. I hope you guys in the crowd listen to the guys talking on the videos. I appreciate how everybody gave credit to their teammates. Hey, it's not just me. It was because of my teammates, coaches. I love that. I appreciate y'all saying that. I hope as you were watching those clips, the highlights, the moments of this year, you just realize how special of a thing we have going right now. It's special, man. It's fun. We got a great thing going, and we cannot let it end on Friday night. We can't let it end on Friday night. And we're ready. We are ready, man. I'm watching today. I know what it looks like. We know what it looks like. We've been to this game before. We know what it looks like, but we got to go do it. We still got to go put our body on the lines every single play and go do it. When we tackle them, man, it's not just one hit. They got to feel 11 blows every play, and that's the mindset. And whatever it takes, we got to get it done. What we have going is too special to end, and it's worth fighting for. It's worth putting your body on the line for. Everything you got.
Sayonara.
Number one in the world, baby. Let's go. It's go time, baby.
I set this up here tonight, not for positive vibes of like, hey, we want to go play for this. This is ours, man. This is ours. I set this up here to remind you what they came into town for. I firmly believe whoever wins this game is going to be holding that up in the Benz in a week and a half. I believe that. Their goal tonight is to come into your house, your last game ever, seniors, and take this from you. So a week and a half, if we're watching them hold that up in the Benz, it's not because they beat us at a neutral site. It's because you let them walk into your house
your last game ever on your field in front of your family and take it from you. Not tonight. Not tonight.
I think we all know what's at stake. We know what's up right now, all right? Y'all got a lot of seniors in this room. That's the last time y'all gonna touch the field, this field, in a semifinal game against a big-time opponent. Last time y'all gonna touch the field here, all right? And and I know they got people here that might not play football again after this season's over with. They take the pads off, they take the helmets off, they put it down and they move on. Not everybody dreams are to go to college, because football is something that you build like a brotherhood in. People do it for a brotherhood, right? So you got a guy know he's not going to college. He's not trying to do nothing extravagant with the sport, right? But he come out here every day, work hard all summer long when he could be on trips, when he could be doing whatever he want to do, because again, he's just here because it's a brotherhood. It's a passion to play with his brothers. Right here, finish here with his brothers.
Lee County, that was a great game. They were a tough team. Most memorable moment from that game, definitely scoring the first touchdown of the game to set the tone. Everybody was hyped. Everybody did their job, and the ball came to me, and I made a play on it.
I think I watched pretty much every huddle highlight that I could find of former Milton running backs, because I was kind of asking myself that same question, and the answer honestly is no. If I had to pick one, he does resemble, I think, in his cutting ability and some of his movements of Peyton Barber, but he really is his own bat, and that's kind of the case for every running back that's come through here that has been a starter that I've seen so far. They all have their different nuances and they all run with their different style, and that's what makes them great, and that's what makes coaching them fun, because it is different, and letting them have their own creative ability when it comes to running, because it shouldn't be the same. TJ should do what he does best, and we'll fit what that best is within our offense. Seeing him, I think, grow and seeing him excel at what he does, it isn't like anybody else, but it definitely is one of the best that I've seen since I've been here. And I would put him in the Mount Rushmore in the upper echelon of Milton running backs.
Yeah, Lee County, man, it was a battle. We were preparing for just a slugfest, and a blow for blow was what we talked about all week long, and just really emptying our tanks on the field and playing every play like it was our last, and just making sure that we didn't take any energy home with us. And I remember there was a moment early on in the first half to where some of their key players, they were bending down a little bit. They had hands on knees. They looked tired. And our kids, they weren't. They were ready to go. They were fired up. They were in good shape. And I just started pointing out to some of our starters just the condition that we were in compared to the condition they were in. And I just remember that energized some of them, just to continue to lay it on, continue to play hard until they tap. And eventually we were able to overtake them and finish that game with a running clock.
I knew it was gonna happen, because I know we put in the work, worked all summer, winter, spring. So I was joyful, but I knew it was coming.
From Lee County, there's many moments, but I'd say Mpire catching that pick, he's stepped up a lot this year, especially in the later games, catching one versus Roswell, one versus Lee County. And, yeah, we have our arguments and all that, but I feel like after the playoffs, we've kind of gelled together, and he's the leader of the secondary, I'm the leader of the box. So we kind of gelled together as a defense, and after he caught that pick, we're all celebrating together and we're all having fun. So I feel like that was a real stepping moment for our defense, and just gluing together as one.
The play that stood out to me most against Lee County was when Mpire caught that interception before halftime, because the score was tied, and then he caught the interception, and we scored going into halftime. So that really set us up nicely for the rest of the game.
I had a long talk. Well, everybody was eating, basically, playing good, getting the ball, feeding the ball. But I kept telling CJ this could be his breakout game. And we just have this thing about where, it looks like he's not running, he's just cruising. And after he caught the one-hand catch and we got the ball right back when we did like that 21-point turnaround, and I looked at him and he's on the sideline on our side, and they got a safety over the top and they got a cornerback. And I said, 4. And he looked over at me and I said, don't stop running. Luke's gonna throw it as far as he can. And the DB was right there and he heard me. Next thing you know, it was 65 yards later.
My favorite moment against Lee County was definitely when I ran that ball into the end zone and then did a little high step and going into the end zone.
I think the biggest feeling for me when I realized that we were going back to state was just gratitude, honestly. It is super difficult to win when people expect you to win. And I know that kind of sounds cliche, but yes, we went to the state championship last year and that team won a championship, but every season is a new team. And coming into this season, we obviously had a lot of people who had put expectations upon this team, and you want to fulfill those, but the weight of expectation gets really heavy at times. And I think people don't always see that, is that, when you're expected to win and expected to win in a certain way, it's difficult to live up to that all the time, and it's difficult to go 14-0. It's really, really hard to get to a state championship. And so, when we beat Lee, who's a really, really good football team, and realized that we were going back, I think I was just grateful, because it takes an effort from so many people. It takes players, it takes coaches, it takes community. It takes so many people that you don't see sacrificing time, sacrificing effort, and coming together for a common goal, and it just doesn't happen all the time. And so when that's realized after the Lee game, you're just grateful for the opportunity. You're grateful for the group of people who were around, because it just doesn't come around all the time, and I'm definitely aware of that.
Every few days I see the clip of Kobe Bryant saying the job's not finished, and honestly I wasn't getting too hyped to myself because we still have one more, and the standard is 15-0. It's not 14-1 or 14-0. The standard is to go 15-0, go to the Benz, win out, and be the best team in Milton history. So, just what Kobe Bryant said, job's not finished.
Initially, I was happy mainly for our kids. It was a situation to where they got a chance to play one more home game in their stadium in front of their home crowd, their parents, their families, friends, and I wanted to make sure that they finished that game off the right way and they walked off of that field with their heads held high with a good memory. And if we did that, that meant that we got to go back to the Benz and, outside of gratification, just relief in a sense. We've talked all year long about what we can accomplish, what we should accomplish. And so to, get back there and have an opportunity to do that with so many tough teams that we had to go through, just gave me a sense of relief and like I said, just happy for the kids and the coaches that they get to go do it one more time.
A year to say this, we're going back to the